Hello everyone, this is Overmind and welcome back to another StarCraft 2 replay cast. I'm pretty excited today because we do have a TVZ, which is a very fun matchup. This is actually going to be a matchup from the Diamond League, and spawning at about the 10 o'clock position on this map, we have our red Terran player, CrYpTiCnicK. And our blue Zerg player, spawning at the 3 o'clock position on this map, we have LeeroyJenkin. Oh, I can't finish it with the S because this is not part of his name. Hopefully I will be able to continue the game without just finishing that with the S. I have spent many years playing WoW and yelling LeeroyJenkin as we stumbled into raids. However, I do approve of the name and may well enjoy yelling it during the cast more, so hopefully I won't mess it up. Leroy, if you're watching this and I add the S to your name, I am sorry. I am very sorry, but I do approve of your name. So congratulations on having an awesome name. In any case, we do have scouting overlords heading out across the map to two different places. The reason they are heading out to two different places is because this is in fact a 3-player spawn map, the other available position being marked with a large 3 conveniently for me. We do have our Zerg player going to go ahead and go Expo before Pool, which is a very good macro build, so hopefully we'll see a bit of macro style play from our Zerg player. We have our Terran player getting his barracks and supply depot up. CrYpTiCnicK going to go ahead and try and wall across here, which is good, because it's going to keep all those units out and allow him to secure his natural expansion very nicely, as long as there aren't any annoying baneling busts or something like that early in the game. He should also be able to play out a macro game. So hopefully we'll see lots of macroing, lots of teching, all the things that we like to see. We do see a factory going down. Gas being mined. Could be Hellion harass, because that's pretty great versus Zerg, especially in the early and mid game, so maybe we'll see a little bit of that. We do have this building being lifted up. Looks like he's going to add on a reactor. Is that right? I want to make sure that's right before I switch back over to our Zerg player. Indeed, it is going to be a reactor, so lots of a bioforce, very likely. Pretty good composition. We do see that a non-zero number of Zerglings are being produced over here at this establishing itself natural expansion. This is just going to be 4. Of course, as Zerg, especially versus Terran, it's very important that you scout the front, the sides, and all around of your opponent's base. That way you can safely drone up and macro up, and then whenever an attack is launched at you, you know it's coming, so that you can build a bunch of units in response. We do have the pool already done. No speed quite yet on the way, but we do have gas being mined over here. And the Zerglings slowly moving out across the map. Just gonna take a quick look, just gonna see what's up. I don't actually know that this is a complete wall off here. I think there's some spaces between the reactor and then maybe the supply depot. I'm not completely sure about that. Sometimes it's hard to tell, and I might just be wrong, but it is possible. I think these Hellions are actually going to move out without the Zerg player seeing them, because he went off to the side here. He does in fact know that this factory exists, knows that it has a reactor on it. Going to go ahead and do a little bit of harassment to this tech lab. Looks like he is going to be able to break in and run in here. Of course, the Queens are going to find out the hard way about these Hellions being produced, even though Leroy is going to get a bit of a peek inside that natural expansion. However, surely at this point he knows exactly what's going on. Speed almost done, which is going to help with any additional harassment that he might have from those Hellions. Additional Hellions moving out across the map to reinforce this annoying bit here. We have a couple of Marines going to join them, but just a couple. Third being thrown down by LeeroyJenkin. Queen up here at the top of the ramp. Speed Zerglings coming down. Queen looks like she's going to go ahead and try and take this on by herself. Queen's being pretty awesome like that. However, I don't think that she actually can. A little bit of micro from CrYpTiCnicK means that he keeps all these units. However, the speed Zerglings are here. I think they're going to be able to trap this pretty quickly and easily, and indeed, this annoying harassment is cleaned up. Whew. And LeeroyJenkin can sort of breathe a sigh of relief. and head these speedlings out across the map. Look how happy they look with their flappy little wings flying across the map now, much faster than before. Gonna poke up here just a little bit. This is in fact an open area here. We can see that from the Marauder running through. This supply depot being thrown down to fix that. This base almost established. A large number of very cute party hat zerg style drones coming out to mine from here already. We do have a Viking out on the field taking out some of LeeroyJenkin's overlords. That was a possessive S on the end of that. Not just me adding an S. It was totally on purpose. Completely okay. This overlord does seem to be able to spot drops coming in and out of the base. Hopefully it will not be spotted by this Viking, who is getting a decent number of kills. Looks like he's up to 3 kills from those overlords. Vikings being very good for limiting the ability of Zerg to spot things with overlords on the map. Looks like he is going to move out to spotting things with his nice little Zerglings here. This being a very good position to spot outgoing drops. And this base is going to be saturated up quite quickly for LeeroyJenkin. Looks like we do have a drop moving out. The Zergling that was supposed to be spotting, I believe, just missing it. And also a decent number of Hellions. Looks like those are going to get spotted by these Zerglings. Zerglings on the move command, though. Not able to really do too much damage given their numbers. Looks like this force is actually going to move back to the base. Yes. However, Leeroy does know about that force. So we do see Zerglings being produced to help clean that up. Viking trying to get any additional kills that he can, and this drop is going to move right into the main base. Should be spotted pretty quickly by Leeroy, who has a flock of overlords moving out to this side. Hellions moving in, drones being evacuated out. And Queen trying to deal with it again on her own. However, the Zerglings are coming in. Looks like they're going to get trapped by the minerals. Hopefully they will be able to maneuver around and clean this up. An attack going on down here at the third. Drones going to try and join the fray. However, fighting is not really their forte, which is unfortunate. These units being picked up as the speed Zerglings come along to try and help clean it up. So minimal losses there from that drop for CrYpTiCnicK. A fairly good play overall. Baneling Nest finishing up over here in the main. Spire coming up almost finished as well. Do have a Roach Warren down, however. Banelings might well be the better choice. Hellions will likely be turned into these nice Hellbats once he has an armory. We do have a large number of sort of Marauder, Marine looking Bioball type stuff. We have additional barracks being added on to this. Natural expansion is pretty well saturated for CrYpTiCnicK. So overall, things are looking good for him, especially that after that attack. Units lost tab is actually going to favor CrYpTiCnicK. So that's all going to be very good for him. However, we do have Mutalisk being produced now. Spire is up, lots of upgrades being researched. Both players having a pretty substantial looking production tab stretching out across the screen. If that gets too big, I might try and minimize it, but by and large, it's really nice to have this here. Widow Mines being produced to help reinforce CrYpTiCnicK's army, possibly for a bit of defense. Stim finally being researched. This seems a little bit late for Stim, especially for a Bioball force, but that's going to be alright. Additional Zerglings being made, and Banelings being made, of course, because why would you not take advantage of the fact that Banelings are awesome? Well, there's really no reason. Another hatchery going down for Leeroy. This is a macro hatch, which is going to help him make additional units, but not necessarily help him mine or anything like that. Small supply block for Leeroy. This Viking being very, very annoying. Scouting around. Looks like the Queen is going to take a few pot shots on him. He's going to head out this way. He's just going to miss seeing this fourth go down for Leeroy. The longer that force is up without CrYpTiCnicK going about it, the better. That Viking gets taken out, so he can no longer annoy Leeroy. I want to go ahead and compliment Leeroy. I didn't check to see which one of them submitted this game. It's possible that Leeroy will never see this, but this is actually very good creep spread. At the 14-minute mark, it covers a decent portion of the map. It's already a good ways towards touching this fourth base. He has very good vision with it, so that's going to be incredibly helpful for him moving forward. We do have a third that has been established here for CrYpTiCnicK, which is going to be very good for him. It is a planetary fortress. It has a decent number of turrets around it for the defense. Of course, defending this is going to be critical for CrYpTiCnicK's economy, and it's pretty well positioned. All right, we've got an engagement going on, or not an engagement. We've got a little bit of creep trimming going on for CrYpTiCnicK, who really wants to make sure that this creep is limited. A couple Mutalisks picking off some defensive Widow Mines. Looks like there was one that went off on them. I believe there were a few more burrowed around. This Terran force going to move up and pick off some more of this very nicely established creep, which is going to be a pretty good idea for our Terran opponent. Definitely doesn't want any upgrades. I think he's going to lose most of this force, actually. We do have Banelings coming on in. And yeah, the Mutalisks did not even need to really engage in that. There are additional Banelings remaining for Leeroy. A couple Medivacs being picked off here as well. Minor skirmish here, possibly to become a major skirmish depending on how it goes. Mutalisks are moving in as well. There are Marines in this little Marine Marauder ball here. However, there's no need for the Mutalisks to engage that directly. They go ahead and take out the turrets and begin attacking over here. The Terran player is angry, not going to let this stand without a fight, of course. Several units are picked off, additional turrets are picked off. Of course, repair is going to be a viable option for our Terran player. It's going to be very helpful for him. A Zergling and Baneling run-in is going to kill a lot of workers here in the natural as well. Look, there's more Banelings coming on in, and of course, lots and lots of deaths. Look at those dead flying parts of workers all over the place. In fact, this is going to get cleaned up, but there's going to be a lot of losses here. I think the resources lost tab looking a lot more even at this point. Zerg player is still a bit ahead in the resources lost, but my goodness, it is starting to even on up. As far as scouting is going, we actually see CrYpTiCnicK not being as active in his scouting as he really should and could be. CrYpTiCnicK trying to establish a base here, but unfortunately this Zergling preventing him. I believe CrYpTiCnicK... Oh, another engagement. There is a Thor among here. It's going to be very dangerous for these Mutalisks to engage that. Definitely want to focus that down. Thor does finally go down. However, I think this is... I don't know. Both players lost a lot in that engagement. I'm going to call it a tie. I don't know that it necessarily was, but definitely lots of losses for both players. Looking in the units lost tab, we do see that Zerg is a decent amount ahead again. However, still by no means is he out of the game. He does have this fourth base established, and as I was saying, CrYpTiCnicK not being as active about his scouting as he could be. If we look at his vision, he has no idea that this is here at all. He's going to go ahead and try and attack up here. I bet he's probably expecting the expansion to be on that side, but unfortunately hasn't been checking vigilantly enough for other placements of expansions. Looks like this is going to get cleaned up pretty handily. Not going to be too much of a problem for LeeroyJenkin. Now, I do want to go ahead and note that there are a lot of units being produced. If we look in the Army Supply tab, we do see it favoring CrYpTiCnicK. However, we are at 76 workers for LeeroyJenkin. A lot of Zerg players will stop droning around this time and just dedicate themselves to making offensive units, so we could see that start to swing in his favor fairly shortly. We see a large number of Banelings being produced. And hey, why not? Banelings are pretty awesome, so there's no reason not to go ahead and do that. Additional creep tumors look like they're going to go right on down, which is going to be good. Queen going to get picked off here by this unit. Banelings and Zerglings getting those surrounds. Starter stepping back from our Terran player, however it is not enough. A decent number of these units are loaded up. There is a picked off medevac. Looks like there might be another one. Mutalisks getting a decent number of kills on those medevacs. Zerglings streaming in near the third. Looks like there is an attempt to establish a fourth, however there's a further Zergling there preventing that from happening. Mutalisks taking some losses from those turrets. Looks like this base is actually going to stay alive for the moment. Creep spread all the way across the map. Nothing bad about that. Finally, a bit of Terran scouting. Of course, they are on the creep at this point, so Leeroy should see that, especially since he did just move a tumor over here. Looks like there is the stim. They're going to run up into this fourth. Don't think they're going to get too much damage done before... Yep, Zergling's going to kill this off. However, the fact that CrYpTiCnicK knows about this could be a big factor in the rest of the game, since CrYpTiCnicK has done a pretty good job of trying to harass sort of outlying bases around here along with this creep, so maybe he'll do a bit more as far as harassing these bases. We do see a fifth going down for Leeroy, which is going to be very good for making additional offensive units. This, of course, going to be spotted right away by this random medevac in the middle of the map, which does not hold any units, however is in fact empty. And I believe this is about to be picked off by a flock of Mutalisks. Fourth base is establishing itself, just getting that planetary done. Lots and lots of turrets up to deal with the Mutalisk. Mutalisks, in fact, flying around looking very impressive and frightening. 2 random Marines running around. Looks like there's a drop here from CrYpTiCnicK. However, we have yet another base. This is going to be what the, I believe the 6th for our Zerg player coming on up. And did the Marines see that? In any case, there is going to be this drop attacking this newly establishing 5th. However, there's a much bigger attack over here. The Baneling's content to just sit back and let this happen. An attack at the front for LeeroyJenkin. I'm not sure. I think this macro hatch might fall. I don't know that the natural will fall, though. Tank is going to come in. If it sieges up, it might be more of a problem. Units streaming across the map to deal with this harassment on the 5th and 6th bases. It actually looks like the 5th was taken out. Oh my goodness, and it looks like in addition to the 5th being taken out, the natural was taken out. There is a very impetuous drone right here, just attacking this tank. It's actually doing a decent amount of damage to the tank, since the tank does not seem to be aware of the fact that it exists. I actually sort of hope... Come on, drone! Oh, that's too bad. That is too bad. I have no malicious intent or will towards this tank, but it is always nice to see a drone really taking it upon himself to do something other than mining. However, we do have the Zerglings very easily finishing that off after the valiant efforts of our hero drone, long deceased. We have another base heading out for CrYpTiCnicK after he has lost his 4th base. He's going to go ahead and settle down on over here. And how many bases are we at for Zerg right now? We certainly have the main with a macro in here. We have an Ultralisk den. That's going to be exciting. Natural, pretty well killed off. We have a base over here. We have, of course, a base here. It looks like this base is going to go ahead and get saturated pretty soon here. So really, both players, our Terran player actually not necessarily saturated on this base, but certainly using the advantage of being a Terran and having mules, many a mule mining minerals. If that isn't illiterate, I don't know what is. Mutalisks fleeing a number of Marines. Looks like an additional base trying to be established over here, so CrYpTiCnicK hanging on as well as he possibly can. However, our Zerg player is making Ultralisks, is making Mutalisks, is making Infestors, and really these high-tech units are going to help out a lot. This forces a lift over here of this base. Base is being picked off left and right by our Zerg player. Small number of units over here. Decent number of units going to head up and try and attack up here. However, there are spine crawlers which are going to help as far as static defenses are concerned. Looks like there could be a big engagement incoming over here. There is a tank out here. Lots of infested Terrans are going to be thrown down, or at least 4 infested Terrans are going to be thrown down. And I think this might be the moment when this base falls. This base, in fact, having been destroyed over here. 3rd for the Terran being destroyed. The 4th for LeeroyJenkin being destroyed. So, lots of bases going down at this point. Ultralisks running around down here. I think these mutas are actually going to take out this orbital command and then have the option of killing off this orbital command as convenient for them. The rest of the Terran army really is pushing out over here. might get this base too, which is going to be very bad for LeeroyJenkin as he slowly begins to run out of bases / production facilities. However, the cavalry has arrived, a large number of infestors, getting a couple fungals down, and then Ultralisk clean it up so that base does survive. Mutalisk pretty well able to just go to town at their leisure here, going to take out some barracks. This base reestablishing itself here, mules being thrown down, and the Ultralisks are going to slowly march their way across the map. Mutalisk finally being chased off, however, having done a decent amount of damage in the base, picking off supply depots and buildings where possible. Couple of SCVs huddled over here. Not a safe place to huddle necessarily. I don't think you want to engage that many Marines. Mutalisk, I think this might be the big push. This might be the end of the game. Ultralisk going to try and bust their way in here, and in fact the front door is open for them. The supply depot is down. Not that it matters because there's certainly enough here to simply break through it. Infestors and Ultralisks inevitably forcing CrYpTiCnicK to GG and leave the game. And wow, that was actually really exciting. I love seeing Zerg and Terran tech up that far. We have Ultralisks, we have Mutalisks, we have Infestors over on this side, which is actually really great to see from Zerg. Love seeing those high-tech units come on out. Congratulations to LeeroyJenkin, and thank you so much for your submission. If you would have a game that you would like to see me cast, enjoyed watching this game and want to see me cast one of yours, go ahead and send it to NoobCrafted@gmail.com. That's NoobCrafted@gmail.com. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I had fun casting. I hope you enjoyed watching this. Have a good night.